Lesbian detectives. Unsolved cases. She's still missing. Yeah, they haven't found her yet. Well, let's talk about it.
They say he vanished without a trace. Could it be a psychotic break or a tragic accident? Police don't know where the body went. Unsolved murders, body still missing. That's unheard. Where's the witness? Lesbian detectives, what's going on? City on high alert, this out the norm. He did what, the who? Man, that ain't real, these crimes ain't true. Then come uncover these theories with us. We live right now, tuning in is a must.
Live right now. Lesbian detectives. Lesbian detectives. We about to start the show, so get your popcorn ready to go. Pay attention to the message. I present to you the Lesbian Detectives.
Hi there, we're Lauren
and Kenzie,
the co-hosts of A Scary State podcast.
Each week we cover a different state in the U.S. and we cover anything from murder mysteries,
Strange disappearances,
paranormal activity,
cryptids,
or urban legends.
So if you're interested in learning about the spooky things in your state, give us a listen.
New episodes come out every Wednesday and you can find us anywhere you get your podcasts.
Stay scary.
Stay safe.
This is Lesbian Detectives. I'm Sierra.
And I'm Elizabeth.
And we're here to talk about missing and unsolved murders.
We are discussing cases that you have forgotten about or never even heard of.
So sit back, relax, and let's start this podcast. Thank you all for joining us again. This is a new year. We're in 2025. I have big plans. Tell me what your guys' plans are for this year. I would love to hear and talk to you. It's been a year. It really has. We had some ups, we had some downs, but we made it through.
Yep.
We got one more year to my 30th, guys. I'm so excited. I cannot wait. I've planned it to the T.
It's all downhill from there.
It's all...
Tell you from experience.
You're like 4 years older than me. You're not that much older. But I take your advice. Let's start this podcast. Today's case is about a young mother and wife working the night shift at the gas station. She called the police 3 times asking for help because she felt unsafe because an unknown man was outside watching her and harassing her. When the police finally came after the 3rd call, she was gone. She has been missing for over 41 years. This is the case of Kelly Dove. Kelly Dove was born on August the 30th, 1961. Kelly was the daughter of Fred and Rachel. Fred and Rachel had 3 daughters, 1 son, and actually a foster child.
Okay.
In 1977, when she was only 15 years old, Kelly got pregnant. She and the baby father, Dale Dove, got married and moved into a new home together. The Dove house was about 20 minutes from Kelly's family home, and Elaine said that she kept in close contact with them. Kelly and Dale's daughter, Tammy, was born on December in 1977. A few years after Tammy was born, Kelly decided she wanted to enroll in classes at the local community college so she could one day make a better life for her daughter. When Kelly was 20, she worked at a gas station with 3 of her sisters, Deb, Rose, and Elaine. Elaine told Dateline that Kelly felt safe working there because her sister Deb was a manager at the station. On June 17, 1982, 3 days before Father's Day, Elaine said she remembered she'd been fighting with one of her siblings. She was so upset she went to Kelly. I remember her hugging me after she made me laugh, like she always did, Elaine recalled. I hugged her and said, I love you, sis. I'll see you this weekend. Elaine never saw Kelly again. That night, Kelly was working the overnight shift at a gas station. Her mother, Rachel, told Dateline, Kelly was brave, Rachel said, so being the only employee working overnight didn't frighten her. It would frighten me big time.
Yeah, same. I've worked the night shift and I was scared. I think I only lasted like a week or 2 and then I was like, you know what? It's not for me.
I'm not scared working a night shift with other people, but by myself, I'm super scared.
I'm scared regardless.
I called her and she was busy. She called me back, Rachel said, adding that it didn't seem like anything was out of the ordinary when she finally did speak with Kelly. On June 18, 1982, around 2:27 a.m., Kelly called the Harrisburg Police Department to say a man was hanging around the gas station, that he was improperly dressed. The police actually released one of those phone calls. I'm going to ask you to read her phone call.
Okay. I'm working at the third shift at the Imperial gas station. I just had an obscene phone call. This guy came in earlier and he was kind of dressed improperly, but I kind of ignored him. I think it was that guy because he just drove through the parking lot for a few seconds before I got the call. Could you have somebody come keep an eye on me? Kelly said to the 911 dispatcher.
Out of all three of her 911 calls, that was the only one that was released. The other two, the police kept to themselves. 2 minutes later, she called the police again. According to the family, this time she asked if the police could come to the gas station to check on her. Kelly told the police that the man had called the gas station from outside and he was saying filthy things to her. She said he was on the gas station property driving a silver Ford. At 2:31 a.m., Kelly placed a third and final call to the police. She again reported that the man was lurking around the gas station. Police said that she pleaded with them to come help her. There was a shuffling noise and then the line went dead. Police arrived at the scene shortly after the third call. When they arrived, Kelly was nowhere to be found.
I wonder why they didn't stay on the line with her. Like she had to come repeatedly make the phone calls. Why didn't they stay on the line? Did she describe what the suspect looked like?
We don't know if she described it because we don't know what actually happened on the phone call. This is like what the family is saying that they heard from the police. The police kind of kept the phone calls hush-hush. They only released one phone call. Authorities stated that they arrived at the gas station only 2 minutes after the conversation got terminated, but no one was there. Dove's purse and magazine that she was reading was left on the counter, and a cigarette had burned out in the ashtray. There was no indication that the store had been robbed, no sign of struggle, and no clues as to Dove's whereabouts. She has never been seen from again. Nothing in the gas station would disturb. It was as if she just walked away, the captain said to Dateline. Police then called Kelly's family to tell them what had happened. Investigators estimate it would have taken 15 seconds to abduct Kelly, force her into the vehicle, and drive away. Her family think whoever took her must have been armed. They describe her as sort of a person that would have fought back if she could have.
Right.
Someone working at a nearby convenience store said he saw a man driving a gray car stop at the store about a half an hour before Kelly went missing. The witness described the man as 20 to 25 years old with short blonde hair. It hasn't been proven if he was involved in Kelly's disappearance. Kelly's sister stated they got observed calls and gestures very often when women was working at the gas station alone at night. However, the calls stopped after Kelly went missing. In the 6 weeks following her apparent abduction, the station only got one of those calls.
Wow.
Kelly's parents believe a man who she went to high school was responsible for her disappearance. The individual who has not been named publicly has a record of exposing himself and making rude phone calls. He has never been charged in connection of this case. Investigators do not believe Kelly was targeted by anyone. They think that her presumed abduction was a crime of opportunity, committed after the kidnapper noticed that she was the only woman working at a gas station. After Kelly's disappearance, her parents raised her daughter. She was declared legally dead in 1989.
Dang.
And the gas station has since been torn down and her case remains unsolved. Now, 4 decades after Kelly's disappearance, police are racing against time to gather more information.
4 decades and now they're racing against time?
We are working against the clock, says Rutherell. This happened 40 years ago, and the people we need to talk to are not always still around. That's going to run before the statute of limitations ever run out on this case. At the time, police are providing a sketch drawing of the suspect and did not provide a name.
Who knows, though, if the people that were witnesses or might have known something are still alive. It's been 40 years.
If you do that math, say she was 20. They like in their 60s and 70s and 80s by now.
I mean, some people develop dementia as early as like 60
50, actually.
or 50.
Rotherwell said that the team at HPD investigators this case has been in regular communication with a forensic lab about what material can be tested before the decade-old investigators become too described. However, for Kelly's family, they hope anybody with information will come forward to the police to clear everything up. As far as the suspect, I have a gut feeling that this is the right one, said Elaine. More than 14,000 days have gone by without Kelly, but her sister continued to hold out hope for justice and answers. Some people say, well, isn't the hope gone? It's been 40 years, Elaine said. I don't think the hope has ever gone away. I think sometimes it gets distant for a while and then you think you gotta keep holding on. Keep hope alive. Before we end this case, let's remember the young lady that went missing. Kelly was a young mother and wife. She was the glue to her family. When her siblings was fighting, they went to her for answers. She wanted a better life for her daughter, so she went back to college. Her daughter was young when she went missing, and she grew up without her mother. This is the case of Kelly Dove. Now let's get into some theories.
Let's get into some theories.
You or me?
Good.
So before I did this case, I did a little research. So I had to call on one of my other podcaster friends. Shout out to Super Crime by Megan. Go check her out. She's really good. I was confused about how long the police took. She called them at 2:27. Her last call was at 2:31.
Wow. That's a 4-minute gap.
There's 3 calls. I asked her let's look how far the police station is. It's from the crime scene. She said we looked it up. It was 7 minutes. But I know some police out there would circle around their area. Why did it take them so long? She called 1 time asking for help. 2 times asking for help. 3 times asking for help. I wonder why the police never released the last 2. Because you released 1. Why did you release a 2nd and 3rd?
Because it's an ongoing investigation.
But why release the first one then? They only released what she said. To me, 15 seconds, could he take her that fast?
Yes.
Because she said that what her mom said, I read interview with her mom. Her mom said when her daughter said filthy or them type of words, they mean he has no clothes on. So to me, it's where did he have a gun or a weapon at? And I wonder, did she ever go lock the door?
Right. Well, I know some people, they just kind of freeze. Some people run. Some people fight. Depends. But she was obviously reaching out for help. It's just, unfortunately, the policemen didn't make it in on time.
I just wonder, what if the police lied about the timeline? 2 minutes. They're it took 2 minutes for us to get there. And it only took him 15 seconds to kidnap her. I'm okay. So she got off the phone call with you. I feel if she's still on the phone call with the police, she would have said hey, he's in here with me. Or something like that. She kept saying he's outside, he's outside, he's outside. She never said, he's getting close or anything like that. I wonder if they didn't release the phone call because it's something in there that's so important that the police can look bad at.
Obviously, they're always going to protect themselves. But, I mean, when you are the victim, 2 minutes can cost you your life, which unfortunately cost her life. I don't feel like they would lie about that. At the end of the day, the policemen have one job to do, and it's try and protect our community. But they're also not superheroes. Like, they're going to get there as fast as they can, how they can. Mm-hmm. You don't know if, yeah, it was 7 minutes away, but what if they encountered a red light? Or what if they were in the middle of something, you know, and they had to, like, you can't just drop your stuff and go, like, sometimes.
They supposed to drop their stuff and go.
Which I understand, but I mean, you never know. Like, you're conversating or you're giving out a speeding ticket or something. You can't just like, oh, forget it, you're not getting the speeding ticket. You know, it's just like.
But it's different police officers. You got one giving out a ticket, then you have one that's sitting now probably drinking a cup of coffee, eating a donut. To me, she did 3 phone calls. After the first one, I felt the police should have been there, you know, check in. But it seemed like they was kind of taking their time a little bit.
Or what if the dispatch person didn't reach out right on time? Mm-hmm. Too. Like, it's a whole team effort.
When I look at this case, the police do not believe that it was somebody that she knew or it was just she was there and it was a crime of opportunity. For me, for the phone calls just to stop after she went missing, I don't know. She could have been stopped. We don't really know.
Right.
This case is hard because it's very creepy a little bit. Like late at night at a gas station, you have this unwell man outside. He was doing filthy things. And I feel like as a woman, that's scary.
Right.
And it's hard because she asked for help. I think that's the hardest part for me because she asked for help. Mm-hmm. She called 3 times. And back to back, you got to, like you said, 4 minutes. She called at 2:27 and again 2 minutes later. And then at 2:31, she was scared for her life. I think it was a serial killer.
No, I don't think so.
Because 15 seconds, as you said, he had to move fast. He was scaring her. He was trying to make her very fearful. He was trying to, like, get inside her head. And then the police said it took 15 seconds for him to get her, put her in the car, and drive away. Because she said she saw a car.
Well, also, too, if he knew that she had been calling the police, he knew he had to move fast. Mm-hmm. Or else he was going to get caught. I just personally believe that there's a lot of crazy people out there. And a gas station is an easy target for somebody because they're most of the time open 24/7. Mm-hmm. Anybody can go inside at any time, really. Mm-hmm. So I feel like she was an easy target. Somebody was looking to be promiscuous and they took it a little too far. And maybe instead of like going on the hunt every day, what if he was like, I'm going to go ahead and hunt her and keep her around for a few until I get bored. And then, you know, I personally would not want you working on the second shift or the night shift by yourself where you're very vulnerable. But that wasn't my call. Did she call anybody else? Her husband or her mother, her sisters?
So her mom did call her during the night. And she talked to her mom. She said everything was good. Everything was normal. They talked around 11 o'clock. Mm-hmm. This happened at 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
So it was like a little time, gap a little bit. Because her mom says her mom always called and checked in on each one of her kids, made sure it was okay at work, because all her siblings work at the gas station. So it wasn't just her. But to me, it seemed like that gas station was not safe. Because I don't know if you guys remember during the case, her siblings said they got a lot of nasty and creepy guys there a lot. Even though her sister was the manager and she felt protected, she really wasn't safe. You think about it, because how many guys were there just being creepy to them?
Yeah.
I think that's the hardest part. You think about, they all got harassed there.
Yeah.
To me, I feel like if you're going to have somebody at the night shift, even if it's a man or a woman, you should have more than one person. It should not be just one person working the night shift at a gas station. Right. It should be at least 2 or 3 per se.
Right.
And I just feel so sorry for her, because she did get pregnant young, but she was trying to make a better life for her daughter. She was like, I'm going to go to college. I have this job. I think that's why she probably was working the night shift. because she was probably going to school early in the morning and then go home, feed her daughter, take care of her daughter, and then go to work.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate that she was trying to do all the right things and somebody decided to show up and just take it from her.
I think that's the hardest part about looking at cases and researching them. You see the person probably had like a bad upbringing and they did not let that get them down. And they're like, okay, I'm going to work my butt off to succeed and get better in life. And then somebody that's unwell come and hurt them. Right. That's the hardest part because I know sometime when I was younger, I had like a little rough moments in life. And then I had to get out there and work my little butt off. And seeing somebody try to come hurt me, I think that, like all the hard work that she was doing, that I felt so sad for her.
Right.
My theory is I think it was a serial killer. I wonder if the police can go and look at similar cases like her in that area. Like, what if he was a little truck driver? You know, he just going through town to town. Because a lot of people who went missing around that time, and still our time, are truck drivers. Like, truck drivers are killing them.
Well, was the gas station for trucks as well, or
no,
just...
it wasn't for trucks. Like, that's the hardest part. It wasn't for trucks. But still, though, he could have easily had, like, his car. I don't know. Or he could have been somebody just going through town to town.
I feel like it's somebody that was obsessed with her. Honestly, if they took the time to call up, you know, every day and harass her and wait for the right opportunity and basically be promiscuous in front of her before he takes her, like, he really had some kind of sick, twisted desire to be with just her. If it was like a truck driver or somebody just passing by, I don't think they would really like remember that person because they've been everywhere. You know, they're not going to remember every single person. I don't think it was a serial killer unless there's a lot of cases out there that are similar. But I feel like it was somebody who just kind of got a little obsessed with her, wanted her, sought out the perfect opportunity, and did what they wanted with her.
Do you think that was his only victim? That's why I say I think it's a serial killer, because I don't feel like he would just stop with her. How he was acted, even though you could see it, he kind of planned it out. He's seeing her call the police. He's like, okay, let me keep getting at her, going for her.
Was he harassing the other sisters too?
So we don't know if it was him, but the sisters said that they got phone calls from an unknown man at that gas station a lot of times. But when she went missing, it stopped.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, he could have just called and was waiting for her to pick up the line, or was he talking to the other sisters the same way?
The same way. What if he just wanted a sister? Like, they all worked the night shift, they was all there. What if he like, oh, this is the perfect time for me to get my victim? Probably wasn't just her. He probably wanted her sister named Deb, Rose, or Elaine. It didn't matter.
But he probably would have gone back if he wanted those particular sisters.
Okay, I can see that.
I don't know. I mean, I wish... We say this almost every time. I wish we had more information, but we're never going to understand why people do what they do.
They can explain it to us hands down, like tell us each step why they did it. I still be like, but why? I don't understand.
Right. Why do you feel like you're entitled to take somebody else's lives or tell somebody what they should do with theirs? You know, it's just everybody has a life of their own, and you have to get permission, consent before you can even attempt to do anything.
It's just, when I think about the case, I love how Elaine ended it. I mean, I like how Elaine said her quote. She said, yes, sometimes my hope get dim. But I think back and like, no, I got to keep having hope. And I feel like that can go to so many different ways. You're struggling in life. You're having a hard time. That quote is so important for people. Like, don't give up because hope is gone. hope is never gone. Always keep fighting. Because one thing somebody can't take away is your hope and your dreams.
Right. I feel like the police say that they've been working around the clock. I feel like the family should put pressure on them and say, hey, what about those 2 other calls? What was said in those 2 calls? Obviously, you guys haven't figured it out in 40 years. Let the rest of the people know what happened with those 2 other calls.
Right.
Maybe somebody else knows something that could help.
Or as nowadays, look at us. Think about the Gabby case. She was found because social media kept hounding the police. Like, go find her. Look at this. He was right here. Look how she's moving. They analyzed it so good that the police was like, okay, let me look at this again. Let me do this.
Exactly.
Sometimes you probably have to put that little evidence you got that you want to save to the public.
What is there to lose?
Right. I mean, he's like, if he was 25 when they said 2025, he's about in his 60s, almost 70s. You know, I wish that they got his voice. That would have been so amazing. That because somebody could have heard, like, oh, I think I heard that voice before, you know?
Right.
I feel like the only reason I don't think she knew the person because she would have said something. You know, another person, the mom said, you remember her friend from high school? She said he did phone calls like that. He was publicly, you know, showing his body around a lot. I wondered if they really looked into him. But you think she would know him though a little? She like, oh, I go to high school with him.
Well, when it's all dark, you don't really know. You just kind of see like a shadow, and especially too if you have like a beaming light on your eyes. It'll be hard to make out who's actually there. But that makes sense. Like, he fits the description. How did the police rule him out?
We don't even know his name. The family said like, hey, this is what we think it is. The family like kind of kept his name hush hush. But I wonder if they ever gave his picture to the man who saw the person.
Yeah.
What if they're like, hey, did you see him? Or I wonder if he matched the sketch. I will have the sketch on our social media. If you look on YouTube, you will saw the sketch too. But I wonder did they compare how he looked? Or, you know...
I know too they were saying that the suspect was driving a certain car. Did he match that?
True. I wonder that too. Or I wonder if they can go back. I know she didn't give a lot of details about the car, but a silver Ford, I mean, how hard, like,
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder if, okay guys, I watched so many crime shows, so sorry, but I'm finna put my little Criminal Minds head on. I wonder if they can go into like back into that time period. Look up people who had silver cars, like silver Fords that she said. Try to narrow it down with the age group so you could take some away that wasn't male. On the age group, all that description, the hair color, because he said he had blonde hair. I wonder.
Well, if it was his mom's car or something, it wouldn't be registered. But, I mean, that's a good way, knocking on people's doors. Hey, did you have this car? And
Like,
do you
what?
know so-and-so? You know, it's just...
Oh, let me not clap. You said that. Sorry. Like, I agree with you. Like, I'm like, yes, queen. Sorry. That was so sorry.
Well, I don't know. I mean, any information would help, honestly. What is there to lose?
Right, but I mean, that is a good idea. She described the car. She said a silver Ford. I mean, back then, silver Fords wasn't that common of a car. Even though you can probably have 2,000, you can easily narrow it down. Even if it's a woman, you can say, did she have a child? Or did she have a brother? Someone with a description. Narrow it down, narrow it down, narrow it down, and say, okay, where was this person around in the early 80s? You know, try to narrow it down.
Yep.
And then, I mean, they say they run out of time. It was like sad. Because I think the police are scared that the person might be dead. Even though he could be deceased, I think it would give like the family some type of closure a little bit.
Right.
Because they can't bury her, but at least they know, like, okay, we did find the person that hurt my daughter.
Right.
I think that's hard as a parent. So, guys, I mean, this case, we put in my theory. I hope that this, as I said in every case, I hope that this episode gets to the people that it needs to get to.
Right.
Like, Police, bring out the 911 call. See if somebody can hear something in her voice or anything. Let's get this case out there. Let's use our social media power
Right.
to help the family get the closure because her sisters still have hope.
Right.
We are on all social media. You can check us out. This month, we are going to be on 2 podcasts. I will let you know the dates that we will be on there. I cannot wait for you guys to come check us out. We're going to be guests.
We're going to be the special guests.
I can't wait to sit back and let somebody else read and tell me the story. Like, because I'm in research the story. I'm always the one to research it. So it's fun to be in the passenger seat this time.
Right.
We're on all social media. We are on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. We have a Facebook group. Please join our Facebook group. Let's talk about the case there. If you're on Facebook, join our Facebook group. I will put in the description. It's called Lesbian Detective. You can come talk about the case every week. Come check us out. We on TikTok until it get banned. Hopefully it doesn't. I'm still praying because TikTok is my life. I'm Sierra.
And I'm Elizabeth.
And this is a Lesbian Detective. And don't forget, everybody's a suspect.
Until proven innocent.
See you guys next week.
Lesbian detective. Unsolved cases. She's still missing. Yeah, they haven't found her yet. Well, let's talk about it.
They say he vanished without a trace. Could it be a psychotic break or a tragic accident? Police don't know where the body went. Unsolved murders, body still missing. That's unheard. Where's the witness? Lesbian detectives, what's going on? City on high alert, this out the norm. He did what, the who? Man, that ain't real, these crimes ain't true. Then come uncover these theories with us. We live right now, tuning in is a must.
Right now, lesbian detective. Lesbian detective. We about to start the show, so get your popcorn ready to go. Pay attention to the message I present to you, the Lesbian Detectives.